de la Escuela Oficial de Idiomas de Gijón.
Welcome to a new episode of the EO Gijón podcast. Today we have a special program because we'll be talking about a highly anticipated event at our school, the end-of-year theatre production.
That's right, a performance that brings together students and teachers in an incredible project. To learn all the details, we have with us Alison, who's an English teacher here at our school and also the stage director. Welcome, Alison.
Hi.
How are you, Alison?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for inviting me here today to talk about the play. I'd like to just say before I start that it's a continuation of a project that's been around at this school for many, many years. And above all, it's a way to promote the learning of English by means of acting and theatre. So I'm new this year, but up until now, my colleague Path my colleague was in charge of the group previously, and so I feel very privileged to be continuing with the legacy.
We are very lucky to have you there, you and her. To begin with, what can we expect to see?
Well, you can expect to see, above all else, fantastic students, because we've got some great students this year of all different levels, with loads of enthusiasm and dedication. Some of them have never acted before, and they're going to be performing a comedy for you, at times absurd. There's lots of comical interactions. It's set in a hotel, which is run by two sisters. And it's about what happens between the sisters, the employees at the hotel, and all the guests that come and go. And above all else, the most important thing to remember is that not everything is what it seems.
Wow. And how did the idea for this play come about?
Well, it came about because I wanted to do something that was funny and light-hearted. And because lots of students signed up, it had to be something with lots of characters in it. So I thought about the comedies, the UK comedies. And I remembered 40 Towers, which I used to watch on TV, on the BBC, with John Cleese. And very recently it's now in the West End. It's been adapted. It's now a play, and it was very successful. So I thought it would be a good idea to adapt one of the episodes. And it's a very kind of simple, silly plot, but quite easy to understand. But the comedy comes from the different characters and the way they react to the different situations.
We know that both students and teachers are participating in the play. So how has this experience of working together on a stage been?
It's been really positive. In fact, the students are really happy. We've got teachers from all of the different departments in the school. So we have 3 teachers from the German department, a teacher from the French department, another teacher from the Italian department, and 5, I think, from the English department. And also one of the members of the concierge team is also participating in English. Mm-hmm. And all the teachers have cameo roles, so they have quite short parts. But I think it's been a way for the students to interact with teachers on a one-to-one basis, which they're not really very used to. And I think it's good for them to see the teachers going through the same things that they go through, you know, the stage fright, and having to repeat lines, and having to project their voices. So I think it's been a very positive experience. It's like a group challenge with everyone working together, because really the whole school is participating. I think the most chaotic thing has probably been the rehearsals, with so many people involved, and trying to kind of get people to coincide with the different schedules. But it's been a fun experience.
Oh, good. Talking about rehearsing, how long have you been rehearsing, and what has the preparation process been like?
Well, we've been rehearsing since November. We rehearse on Friday mornings, sometimes on a Friday afternoon. And for the last 3 weeks, we've been lucky enough to be able to use the theatre in Fernández Vallín Secondary School here in Gijón, which has been great because it's not the same rehearsing in a room as rehearsing in a theatre with a proper stage. So thanks to them, that's been great as well. And the process, well, first of all, they started off learning their lines. There's been lots of script changes, so the characters have changed along the way and what they have said as well. And now they don't need their scripts. They've learnt their lines, which is great. And I think once they don't have to act with a script in their hands, it's like a completely different process. Because then they can concentrate on their acting and develop their characters. So yeah, that's what we're working on at the moment, and projecting our voices so that you'll be able to hear us on the 15th of May.
What goes on behind the scenes of a play that isn't visible at first glance?
So much goes on behind the scenes. I was totally unaware of how much I would have to do behind the scenes. It's quite chaotic, really, because you've got to think about clothes, decor, lights, sound. We've been transporting props backwards and forwards, drawing a poster, printing the poster, the program, asking for favours. I've asked so many people for favours. But we've had lots of help. So there's a student at the school, Chus, who's an actress, and she's been lovely. She's helped. She's been to 2 rehearsals already. A friend of mine who's a teacher at the Esad came and gave us a class as well. You have to emails backwards and forwards to different theatres, to Gijón-Sur, lots of different collaborations. My student Anna has very nicely drawn us the poster. Other students helping with lights and sounds. It's just such a long list that I could be here all day telling you about it. So
that's great.
Oh, great. English must be an additional challenge in acting. How have you handled pronunciation and expression in another language?
Well, the expression part we've had help from professionals, as I've just said. So especially knowing how to stand, where to put your hands, the body language, and then expressing feeling by means of your facial expression. And then the pronunciation, we've had 2 teachers helping us. So Lucy's been helping in the afternoons with the students with pronunciation, my colleague Lucy, and then Aurora, the head of studies, has also been helping with pronunciation in the mornings with the 2 main characters. So I've had lots of help. But yeah, the pronunciation part has been a challenge. There have been a few words that we've had to change.
Besides acting, there are other key elements in a play, such as costumes and set design. How has the work been in these aspects?
Well, costumes, my colleague Lucy is doing, and the set design and props, my colleague Paula, and that's been particularly difficult because the play is set in the 80s. So we've had to find both clothes and props that are appropriate for that period of time. So we've had to find old telephones, a typewriter, and we've luckily one of the girls that is in the theatre group, Rocío, she's got so many friends and neighbours that have helped out, and I think that a lot of us have been asking older members of the family. The students have been asking their grandparents. So, actually now in the school, we have quite a big collection of clothes and props from the 80s. So
that's great. And I would really like to know how any anecdote you've had during all this rehearsal time.
We haven't had like a particular anecdote that I can tell you about, just lots of kind of funny moments with laughs. I think one thing is that we see each other so much and we've rehearsed so much that now we kind of call each other by our character names, to the extent that a lot of the time we don't even remember the real name of the student. Like we even when we're out of the school and we're not rehearsing, we're still calling the students by their character names. And another anecdote is one day when this student Rocío that I mentioned before, she'd been to an old flat where a couple were moving out, and she'd managed to get lots of clothes and like Walkmans and flowers and lamps from the 80s. And we didn't have anywhere to put all of this stuff, so we ended up putting it all in massive big black bin bags. But because they were so heavy, we spent like a couple of hours like dragging these bin bags around Gijón, like with giggling at the same time. And I just thought we just looked so suspicious dragging these big bags full of things around the streets. So those are two anecdotes that come to mind.
And finally, Alison, why shouldn't we miss it? Will there be any surprise?
Yeah, there'll be lots of surprises because our students and our teachers have many hidden talents that we will discover on that day. So I look forward to seeing you all so that you can see your fellow classmates and teachers on the stage. Practice your English, enjoy yourselves, have a laugh, and above all else, have fun.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing your experience, Alan. We're sure this play will be a success. So for all who are listening, don't miss it. Remember the date. We'll see you on Thursday, May the 15th at 6 in the afternoon at the Gijón-Sur, Municipal Center. So I repeat, Thursday, May the 15th, 6 o'clock in the evening at Gijón-Sur Municipal Center.
Thank you.
Thanks.